one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. We honor the place in you where the entire universe resides. We honor the place in you of love, light, truth, and peace. We honor the place in you where when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, there is only one of us. Namaste. And now a word from our sponsor.
Oh, thank you for that. Armand and Angelina, what a beautiful presence you started our service with. Thank you so much. And welcome everyone to Unity of Charlotte. Reverend Jim and I are so happy to be back. You know, we've been out for last week to go to the UWM National Convention. Maybe it's a global convention, actually. And we had an amazing time, and in the weeks, as the weeks unfold, we will be sharing with you some of the information, some of the ideas, and some of the resources that we gained from that experience. And we're really looking forward to that. And with that in mind, I just want to say a huge thank you to the crew that carried out our last Sunday service while we were gone. So Jim Fuller and Alan and Lawrence and everybody who helped put this service together. Fred! No! And I am sure, and Will! And I know I'm missing some of you. Please know we hold you in our hearts. And Reverend Jim and I are so grateful because we just feel so confident when we leave that this congregation is so well taken care of. So thank you to everybody for that. And for the great chairs, we got out of storage. Thank you for heading up that, Jim and Michael Brown. So, Charlotte, welcome to Unity of Charlotte. We welcome you if you're here in person. We welcome you if you're joining us on Zoom. If you're watching our YouTube later, thank you for stopping by and checking us out. We want you to know that Unity of Charlotte is a place where we nurture a deep and mature experience of God through the practice of unity principles. This is our mission and our purpose. And when we put it simply, it means we are here to love, grow, and serve. Love, grow, and serve. That's our mission here. If you're here for the first time, could you raise your hand and let us know if you're here in the audience? Oh, welcome. Thank you. Nice to have you here. And if you're online and you're new, please, if you're comfortable, put something on the chat and let us know your name and an email address if you'd like us to send you some information if you want to get onto our newsletter. We have a new visitors packet. We would love to have you pick up if someone hasn't already given you one. But just that we're really delighted to have you here. Thank you for being here. And thanks to everybody for being here. So I'd like to start off by inviting, I'm going to be introducing Armand and Angelina a little more fully later, but first I want to invite them up to do our congregational song.
So our most popular song we wrote after watching a movie called The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. One of the greatest movies, I think, especially for us grown-ups. We belong to AARP, Movies for Grown-Ups, and they send us to go see screenings of movies that are appropriate for people our age and up. And so we saw it, we loved it, and the young innkeeper always said to anybody that complained, everything would be okay at the end. And when they'd say, yeah, but it's not really okay right now, he goes, well, it must not be the end. So we wrote a song about it. Here it goes. We hope you'll join us. Oh, yeah. There we go. Everything will be okay at the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Nothing in this universe will ever last. So if you're feeling low, this too shall pass. Nothing in this universe will ever last. So if you're feeling low, this too shall pass. Because everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. We're gonna sha-la-la-la. Sha-la-la-la-la. Sha-la-la-la-la. Every happy song has to have some sha-la-la-la. Sha-la-la-la-la. Sha-la-la-la-la. Even when the darkness seems to hide you away, after every night, a brand new day. Even when the darkness seems to hide you away, after every night, a brand new day. A brand new day. A sunny day, oh yeah. Here's the second one. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. We're gonna sha-la-la again. Sha-la-la-la-la. 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 Here comes the tricky part, you people. Even when it all just seems to go your way, don't get attached, it's gonna change. Even when it all just seems to go your way, no matter how many times you solve a secret, it's still gonna change. That's okay, y'all. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Just the audience. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Awesome. It's not the end. It's not the end. So if you don't like the weather, wait a day. It's not the end. It's not the end. If you can't believe all they talk about on TV or politics, it's not the end. It's not the end. It's not the end. But this is the end of the song.
All right, all right, all right. Oh, I am so happy you are here. I'm so happy you're here, and they have so much more in store for you. So I'm just going to go through some quick announcements. Armand and Angelina are going to be here this evening at 6 o'clock to put on a concert that's going to be a continuation of music and mirth. So I invite all of you to come out, invite friends, invite family, everybody is welcome. We are asking for a $20 love offering, but know that no one will be turned away. We want everyone to come out and enjoy this concert and know that everything works out in the end. If you would like to, there's a QR code in the hallway to make that donation. Reverend Jim and I will have our laptops out front during the fellowship. So if you want to stop by and make your donation, come and see us. Otherwise, you can do it when you come tonight, or just show up and enjoy, because there's a beautiful circulation of love going on. Now, a reminder about our new member workshop series. It continues. We completed the first one. We have the affirmative prayer workshop that's going to be on Saturday, July 15th. That is, I think, 2 weeks away or what? 1 more week away. So we have several people signed up. Thank you for registering. We invite anyone who's thinking about becoming a new member to attend. This is a great way to understand the affirmative prayer practice that Unity is so deeply founded in. And even if you're already a member, or you don't care about being a member, but you just want to learn a little bit more about this type of prayer, please join us. You are all welcome. Know that on our website, there are all kinds of ongoing events. In our newsletter, there's ongoing events, so please check those out. We don't have time to cover everything, but we are getting very active and alive in this congregation. It's very exciting to see. And now I invite you to join me in a moment of prayer. Just take a moment, if you will, to gently close your eyes if that's comfortable. And let your focus turn inward, moving from your head to your heart. Living, loving Spirit, we come together, turning within to name and claim that power of God that lives within us. Knowing we can never be absent from the grace, love, and power of God, we are reminded to turn within so that we may then turn without and shine forth the goodness and the love and the joy and the connection of knowing who we are in spirit and who we are together as a spiritual community, as a neighborhood community, and as a global community. We call forth the power of that love to inspire and construct new, deep connections, reflecting the oneness of what we are. In the name and the power of that Christ presence within, I say, so it is, and amen. Now please join me together as we speak our unity prayer of oneness. There is one presence and one power in my life and the universe. God, good, omnipotence. We claim and affirm this presence in our lives as love. Now I invite you to once again turn within, and if there is anybody that you would like to hold in prayer, anyone that you'd like to offer a prayer request for, or a prayer for yourself or a situation, this is a moment when we offer some silent, sacred space to speak a word or a name into, knowing that Spirit is already active in that situation. So I offer this moment to speak that name. Knowing Spirit has heard and is alive and active, bringing forth the best and good outcomes needed in each situation. And for this we are so grateful. Amen. Now I'd like to read the daily word. The daily word for today is power. I look within and discover my power. Great power lies within me, like a treasure chest full of gold and precious jewels buried in my own backyard. It is so close that I sometimes overlook it, leading me to search near and far, seeking strength and value outside myself. Yet my power is in my potential, a gift for me to discover. I am endowed with wisdom, love, and creativity. I am endowed with wisdom, love, and creativity. Gemstones meant to be uncovered and shared with the world. I am rich in my capacity to use these gifts to reach goals and create my life with intentionality. As I think, speak, and behave in accordance with my divine abilities, I share my treasures. I bring into the light the hidden parts of myself, knowing my power comes from expressing my best self. And from Ephesians 2:10, for we are what he has made us, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand to be our way of life. Power. I look within and discover my power. And now I would like to formally introduce you to Armand and Angelina. So I know many of you know them, but if you have not heard them, you are in for a huge, huge treat. Armand is an award-winning songwriter and inspirational speaker whose enthusiastic presence inspires us all to love life passionately. Angelina's angelic and heart-opening voice draws from many languages. She was classically trained at Indiana University and was formerly with Epcot Center. They are international performers using songs, stories, and humor to remind us now to open our hearts and remember that we are meant to experience heaven on earth. So without further ado, I am here to very gratefully and joyfully introduce Armand and Angelina.
Thank you for that introduction. That's one of the nicest things I've written. So at this time, we're going to go into meditation. So we will start with a very simple meditation chant. Peace I am. Peace in every moment. Peace in every moment. Peace I am. We'll sing that a few times. Peace I am. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am, peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am, peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am, peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. And we invite you to take those words in. As we quiet the mind, it can be helpful to close the outer eyes and relax. Allow thoughts to drift away if possible, or just acknowledge them and let them go. As we quiet the mind, we become more present to the still small voice of God that is constantly reminding us to be at peace, that we are complete, that all is well. Even in the chaos, all is well. Allow the peace to invite you on a sacred journey. Allow this journey to take you deeper into the peace of God. to your surroundings, your body, your chair, this sacred sanctuary where we come together in community to remember the truth of who we are and to remind each other before taking that consciousness out into the world at large, being a lighthouse for the peace of God. Thank you, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, and so it is. Amen. All is well. All is well. God is balanced. All is well. There's perfection everywhere. All is well. Goodness, wow, more people showed up while we were by. It's like loaves and fish. We keep producing. Raise your hand if you're experiencing us today for the very first time. Oh, not that many. Okay, good. Well, good. It's been too long. We've been going back to churches pretty much full time since the beginning of 2022. And people come up to us and say, oh, we loved seeing you last year. And we're going, it was 3 years ago. Or, we loved seeing you 2 years ago. It was 4 years ago. So just take a couple of years and just add to everything. It seems like that's the truth of it. So it's about our 10th time here since we first came with Randolph Wilkerson. Is that the right name?
Yes.
And that was way back in a different building. It's been in a few different incarnations. It's one of our favorite places. We've always considered this to be a family for us because we know so many people. Welcome our friend Thomas, who was part of, what's your regular church, Thomas? Say it again?
St. John's Baptist.
St. John's Baptist, okay. So thank you for being here with us today. We're the United Nation of Religions because we have the Methodist Church, St. John's Baptist, Unity Folks, and God knows what else. It's wonderful. Many paths, one powerful, awesome creator.
So before we get started,
okay.
I just have to say something about the elephant in the room. So Armand's very colorfully dressed today, and it might be a little much for some of you, but he wanted to be fully self-expressed. And I even said, he has black pants that he can wear with this outfit too. And I said, do you want to wear the black pants today? He goes, no, these people love me and accept me. I'm going to go all out.
That's rather good. Amazon.com. Men's colorful suit. So that's the deal. We never wear this in the first time in church because we want to get invited back. Yeah. So today our message is there's no such thing as rejection. How many people have ever felt rejected before? How's that working for you? It just doesn't feel good. And so what we're going to be talking about today is the idea that yes, we feel rejected. Yes, our inner child feels rejection. Yes, our heart can feel rejected. And we want to acknowledge that. But we also want to know the truth, that there really is no rejection in spirit. Okay? And I'm sure we've all got tons and tons of examples of when something didn't go the way we wanted it to, we felt rejected, we felt horrible, and down the road, whether it be a few months or a few weeks or years, we went, oh my God, I'm so glad that happened. Which is another example.
Or didn't happen.
Or so glad that it didn't happen. Like, I'm so glad my first marriage didn't last forever. Even though that was my wish. Of course it's our wish when we do it. And how do you feel about your first marriage?
I am glad that didn't work out.
I remember when you were
I know.
and it was not good.
It was not
fun. But the thing is, that's why we always go back to our unity tools while we're dealing with the humanness, reminding us that all is well. Everything will be okay in the end.
Divine order.
Divine order. That's our go-to no matter what. If nothing else works, we pull out the all-purpose tool. Everything
Works
in
every
the Bible. We don't have to understand it. We just have to trust it. So yeah, that's the one that we have to go to now. So
no, but we're not saying though that we don't want to, we don't want to deny what we're feeling. So if we're angry, upset, sad, it's really, really important to express that and feel that so it doesn't get stuck inside of us, and then there's no joy to express when it's stuck inside you. So if you need to cry, cry. If you need to yell, yell. But Armand has this great saying.
So I don't know if I wrote it or I heard it. Have you ever been one of those people that you have this great idea, you think it was yours, and it may not have been anyway? But I heard this. You want to visit your uncomfortable emotions. You want to acknowledge them. You want to work through them. You just don't want to buy property there. And that's the challenge sometimes. We're so afraid that if we go there, we're going to get stuck. And you know what? You don't have to get stuck. I call depression deep expression. If you can get into that depression and deeply express it, you can come out the other end. Okay? Ram Dass has a great saying about it. He says, when you hear negativity and discomfort and feeling rejection and all that knocking at the door, don't deny it. You know what happens if you deny your emotions? You get emotionally constipated. You've met emotionally constipated people before. They're like, everything's fine. No, really, it's fine. But something bad just happened. I don't acknowledge that. They're hard to be around. Okay, so Ram Dass says, if you hear it knocking on the door, invite it in for a quick drink and then show it the door. Okay, that way you acknowledge it, you feel it, you don't have it clawing at you, and then you get to be free. Many of us have had things that have happened in our life, like a job that we really liked or we really wanted to get, and it didn't happen the way we thought, and then down the road we got something that was better for us.
So, like for me, I worked at Epcot Center for like 10 years, and then 9/11 happened, and they made all these cuts because people weren't traveling, going on vacation. And so my group, musician group, we were one of the ones that were let go. And, it was a little bit sad, but it opened the door for me to do this full time with Armand. So I didn't have to be in that space. I wasn't in that space very long because I just hitched a ride with him and it took off.
It really, really good. Yes, there's so many different things that have happened in our lives that we didn't understand at the moment, and we just needed to have that extra little bit of trust. A good example for us, a very uncomfortable example, is the whole great pause that happened, where 2 years of our life we were not able to do exactly what we were used to. It's so funny, I don't know if y'all are like this too, but when our gigs all went away in March and April, we had a whole tour planned in May. I'm like, well, we'll definitely be back on the road by May of 2020, good God. And then I had to cancel that, and I said, well, we're going to New England in June. That's got to happen. June, as we know, it didn't happen for a couple of years. And so I kept feeling more and more rejected by life, which led to more and more disappointment. Okay, and I had to go through a very long period, about 9 months of deep expression. And it was tough. It was really, really tough. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to go there. What I didn't realize until I went deep is I didn't realize how attached I was to the joy and dopamine stimulation that I get from doing this. Wayne Dyer said something like, Wayne Dyer was my first, he was kind of my gateway drug to unity. Because when I graduated college, my father had just passed away, and I graduated college, and I went to the college bookstore, and I said, I'll probably never be back at this college, but I want to get a few books. So I got Your Harmonious Zones, Pulling Your Own Strings, and I'm Okay, You're Okay. And that's what got me started. And then I would hear Wayne talking about unity, and Wayne said in one of his earliest tapes, if you are what you do, and many people think they are what they do, then when you don't, you aren't. And I always thought, he's 100% true, but I never knew that I was doing it. I was what I did. I thought I was what I did. So when it went away, I felt empty. I felt lost. I felt broken. And so I did a bunch of work.
And then you found fishing.
And then I found fishing, which is also a great source of dopamine. Does anybody here not understand why people love to fish? Okay, so the best I can do is have you folks that don't love to fish, have you ever played a one-armed bandit? Slot machine? How exciting it is to know that this could be the corner. That's what fishing is. Every time you throw the word, there could be a big one in there. So that's the closest I can tell you to fishing is that it's always looking for that big jackpot payout. So I got some dopamine from that, and it substituted for a while. But there was still something else going on that I didn't know in my life.
Right. So we found that during the pandemic, a lot of us were had lack of vitamin C, vitamin Connect.
The second vitamin C, vitamin Connect.
And Armand was definitely suffering from not being connected to people. He's an extrovert and he loves to be around people. And so I told him, you know, when I had to go grocery shopping or do little errands or whatever, I'm like, Armand, you're going with me because you need to be around people. Even if it's in a store with a mask on, you need to have that connection. And so we did.
She took me to all these weird places. Joanne's Fabrics. Okay, Joanne's Fabrics. Hobby Lobby, I'm going to get into politics. Or Michael's. Bell's Outlet. And then one day she made me go, old-time pottery. So the truth is I resisted, but the minute I started going, it changed my life. And again, I got the dopamine.
Okay, you started going, where are we going today?
Because I was joking and talking and annoying as many people as I could in the store. It was awesome. And I felt better. And then I did some research. And during that research, I watched a YouTube called Failing at Normal. And I didn't know what it was all about, but I was directed to it. I just was directed, I watched it. And it talked about they talked about ADHD, I call it ADHD, I put condition instead of disorder. And I started crying. If you're diabetic, you take your insulin. You know, these things have to be managed. They are not a sentence. They are just something to be aware of and manage. So my life changed dramatically. Angelina's different because she liked the time off. She was like that little, who remembers Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox and all those things? Remember when Brer Rabbit, oh Brer Fox, you can do anything, buddy. You can do anything, but don't throw me in the briar patch. And why did he say that? Because he loved the briar patch. He grew up in there. He wanted to look bad. So she's like, please God, don't make me stay home in the house for 2 years. She loved it.
Well, I'm more of an introvert and shy, and so it's really important that I have time by myself. So we're on the road a lot. Back then we were on the road 260 days. Wow. And so I didn't really know it, but I was definitely getting burned out and needing more time at home.
And why was my wife getting burned out? Because I was constantly trying to get my dopamine at her expense. That was another huge lesson. Anyway, go ahead.
Right. So I know for many people it was really difficult, but for me it was such a it renewed me, and I got things done. Like I cleaned out closets, I cleaned out the garage, everything was all in order again. And so it was really good for me. I had a lump in my throat for like 3 or 4 years previous to that. And when I went to my ear, nose, throat doctor, he said, it's not anything with your vocal cords, but it's something called a global sensation.
And so they don't really know what it causes it, but it's usually stress and anxiety. And so that whole time that I was home, that lump went away. And so I'm really grateful for that. So I had no idea that would be what would get rid of it, because they said it may go away, may just, until you let go of the stress and anxiety. So that was really, really joyous for me. I also found I'm the type of person, Armand calls me a project queen. I don't like to really just sit and do nothing. I'm always doing something. And so one morning we decided we would do a YouTube about gratitude, because that was, or a YouTube on the Daily Word. And so we created these little videos that we put on our Facebook page about the Daily Word. And I, created something to make it fun and all that. So what it actually did though, is I found a new voice. So before, those that don't know me, I didn't really speak much from stage. I'd sing my song, Armand would talk, I'd sing a song. And so those videos somehow just flipped in me something that gives me inspiration and a voice of speaking. And so I'm really grateful for that too, because I feel I can express myself in so many ways than just singing. So
Absolutely. And so again, we're all working through these different things. They may feel uncomfortable at first, but if we can trust that there's a message in them, our biggest goal and the greatest thing that came out of 2021, which is the second year, was we realized we want something in between where we were before, 260 days a year on the road, and where we were in 2020 and 21, 0. So somewhere in between. And so we've been managing that because her needs of introversion are just as important as mine, but I was louder, so I got my way a lot more. So the next 22 years for you, since you gave me the first 22 years. And, but here's another thing I found out. We started doing a lot of other work, like the Myers-Briggs work. We were already big Enneagram fans, but we hadn't really done the Myers-Briggs, so we started doing that. And I realized just because I'm a dominant extrovert doesn't mean I don't have a submissive introvert that needs their needs met as well, and vice versa. Now you get your submissive extrovert met through this kind of stuff, but I wasn't getting my introvert met at all, because introversion meant I would be alone with my thoughts and my dopamine deficiency would take over. So I had to do something really busy and I would start to get fizzled out. And so, yeah, it's all, a lot of it is about balance. I used to hear that another word for God is balance. God is balance, but humanity struggles with balance. Now, one of the things that I'm challenged by, and I may as well get it off my chest, I don't love it when people use the pulpit to self-promote. I like to read something from my new book. This is one little page from the chapter, Faith in the System. Everything will be okay as soon as you are okay with everything. And that's the only time everything will be okay. And that's from Michael Singer in Gainesville, Florida, author of The Untethered Soul. Faith, F-A-I-T-H, faith, has been said to stand for feeling all right in the heart. Feeling all right in the heart does not mean we always understand everything. It doesn't mean we don't get confused. It just means that we trust, as John Lennon said, everything will be okay in the end. Being confused is okay. Thinking that there is something wrong with us for being confused, that is the problem. As Byron Katie says, how do I know it was meant to happen that way? Because it happened that way. Now, that is very simplistic. That is not necessarily easy, but if we can trust in divine order all the way, I know some of us, myself included, are like, everything's in divine order except what that politician is doing. Anybody ever done that? Or everything's in divine order except what that lady has said to me today. We get that way. Ted Lasso, who's my spiritual guru these days, if you're a Ted Lasso fan, when anybody insults him and his friend Beer says, what's that all about? He always says the same thing. It's an inside joke, mostly inside of them. You see, somebody says something negative to you, it's something inside of them that they're releasing. We don't have to take it personally. Or as Swami Bhayananda says, don't take things poisonally. So we were up in New Jersey doing a tour. I'm thinking this must have been around 2008. And the person that was showing us around New Jersey said, I got a great Italian restaurant. They make the best eggplant parmesan. And I'm like, hey, forget about it. I love that. I'm Italian. I'm a Cajun Italian, so my favorite food is crawfish lasagna. But anyway, so she says, great eggplant parmesan. We go to the restaurant. It's a Monday. They're closed. I felt disappointed because I had an expectation and I was excited, so I felt disappointed. She says, no biggie. There's no such thing as rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. Well, let me just tell you, I opened up my toolbox and I stuck it in there. I said, I'll be using that the next time something doesn't go my way. It doesn't mean you don't have to feel what you're feeling. It means that you know that God's going to point you in another direction. It reminds me of the two kids. They wake up on Christmas Day, hoping they'll have something wonderful. There's nothing under the tree. They go outside to see if there's anything, and all they see is a pile of manure. Have you heard of this? The one little boy goes, oh, this is the worst day of my life. The other boy goes, Oh, no, it's not. There's a pony in here somewhere. Okay, so I know that's an exaggeration, but the truth is, when something happens the way you don't want it to happen, and you trust and have faith that God is pointing you in a new direction, you start looking for the pony. Now, whether you look for it or not, you're going to find it. But if you lost something, wouldn't you rather look for it? The more you look for it, the smaller that gap is, I think, between feeling disappointment and going, now I understand. Start looking. For one thing, the journey of looking for your good is awesome. I have a reverse paranoia, which is also called pronoia. It means I'm constantly thinking the universe is conspiring on my behalf. Anybody else have pronoia? The universe is constantly conspiring on your behalf. All right, so we're going to finish up this part of the service with a song that I wrote after hearing that quote. One day I was in the car and I was going, well, there's no such thing as rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. I said, wait, rejection, direction. Don't give a songwriter something that rhymes. So then I went, there's no such thing as rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. Na, 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 na. I just wrote a pirate song. Have we got any pirates out there? How much does it cost for a pirate to get an earring? About a buccaneer. Arr, thank you. Where do pirates get their hooks? From the second-hand shop. What's a pirate's favorite fast food? Arby's. Well done. And one more. What kind of movies do pirates like to watch? Rated R. All right, let's sing the song, honey, quick before I get in trouble. There's no such thing as rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. It's never rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. Na, 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 na. There's no such thing as rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. It's never rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. On the day that I was born and slapped upon my cheek, you think that I would ascertain the world as rather bleak, but I heard a voice of wisdom, and in my ear would ring, don't think the world is against you. There's no such thing. The world is never against you. There's no such thing. No such thing as rejection. It's not pointing us in another direction. It's never rejection. It's not. At an early age, I knew true love would be my quest. So many trials and tribulations was what made me the test. There were a dozen lovely maidens, much heartache they would bring. I thought the world was against me, but there's no such thing. I thought the world was against me, but there's no such thing. Return. There's no such thing as rejection. It's not pointing us in another direction. It's never rejection. It's not pointing us in another I'm moving through my renaissance into my middle age, becoming fully realized. I trust my inner stage. My quest is done, I found my bride. This holy grail I bring. The world is never against us. There's no such thing. The world is never against us because there's no such thing. Da, 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 da. Thank you, my lords and ladies. And now I'm reminded where two or more are gathered, take up a collection. But before we do that, what's a pirate's favorite letter? You'd think it was R, but we fancy the C.
Oh, wow. Wow. I got so many little one-liners to take away. I've added them to my little deck of, I'm going to remember that one. Another direction. Thank you so much, Armand and Angelina. What a joy that was. And now we have our time of offertory and blessing. And you know, this is the part of the service where we remember that as we give, we receive, and that abundance is flow. So we want to thank you for all the generous giving that has already and is already occurring. And it's the way that Unity of Charlotte gets to continue to be a light in this world. So please join me in our offertory blessing. Joyously, I give this gift, knowing the divine presence blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And as our ushers come forward, I am remembering that we have a slide with all the different ways of giving, which I kind of skipped over there, our consistent giving slide. So just know that the plate's being passed, but we also have QR codes, online giving, a donate button, text. You can even text it. So know that you can use any of these ways to keep that abundance flowing. Sure.
Love, make me an instrument of your peace. Love, make me an instrument of your peace. Love, make me an instrument of your peace. Once more. Make me an instrument of your peace. A 1, 2, 3, 4. The light of God surrounds us. Oh, the love of God folds us. The love of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, our God is, and all is well. Let's sing it again. The love of God folds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, our God is, and all is well. Let's pray. Our God is, and all is well. Our God is, and all is well.